adopting technology in the FBI, going from a paper-driven organization to a digital organization, will free us up, make us more horizontal, remove a lot of the bureaucracy that we've heard about in the course of these hearings, give us new opportunities, investigative tools. But I will add one caution, that with that new technology has to come training, has to come user-friendliness, it has to be changes in job descriptions, it has to be changes in procedures. It is one thing to bring in boxes. You can bring in the computer, you can bring in the software, you can bring in the hardware. But if you do not provide the changed business practices, if you do not provide the training, if you do not provide the user-friendly interfaces, then you will be going no place. And so while people talk of tech...
I read from the FBI's Office of the Inspector General report, which was publicly released in June 2006. In this section of the chapter, Chapter 3, Section F, FBI employees' lack of understanding of CIA reporting process. These gaps in the information sharing process were exacerbated by FBI personnel's lack of understanding of the CIA's reporting process. This problem is clearly illustrated by the failure of the FBI to obtain the information on the identification in January 2001 of Khalid in the Kuala Lumpur photographs by the joint FBI-CIA joint source. As detailed above, we concluded that the FBI's legal attaché, also known as ALAT, was not made aware of the source's identification of Khalid in the Malaysia meeting photographs. Although the legal attaché attended the debriefing of the source, the ALAT did not immediately receive the information that the source had identified Khalid. We were unable to ascertain the reasons for this significant omission. However, our review found that there were later opportunities for the legal attaché to have obtained information about the identification from CIA documents. In addition, we found that the New York FBI agents working the USS Cole attack investigation did not learn of this significant information despite interviewing the source on several occasions. We believe this was due in part to the fact that the FBI personnel were not familiar with the CIA's process for reporting intelligence information. As discussed previously, the CIA primarily relies on cable traffic to share intelligence among its personnel who are stationed around the world. None of these cables are available for FBI review except by the limited number of FBI personnel with direct access to CIA computer systems, such as the detailees at the CTC. The CIA uses a certain type of cable called a telegraphic dissemination, or TD, to disseminate CIA information outside of the CIA to other U.S. government agencies. These cables are created by CIA report officers based on their review of the internal CIA cable traffic. The report officers were described to us as editors who remove references to sources and methods contained in the cables and determine what information should be further disseminated in the telegraphic dissemination cables. As a result, the TDs did not necessarily include all the substantive information contained in the internal cable traffic. Our review found the legal attaché did not understand that the telegraphic dissemination cables did not necessarily contain all of the intelligence gathered by the CIA from a particular source or on a particular event. The legal attaché had been keenly aware of the significance of Khalid to the FBI, and contemporaneous FBI documents outline his efforts in mid-June 2001, January 2001, to try to ensure that all the information obtained from the joint source was provided to the UBL unit, the FBI headquarters, and the Bin Laden squad in the New York field office. However, he relied on the telegraphic dissemination cables concerning the source's reporting to ensure the completeness of the information that he had provided to his FBI colleagues. The legal attaché erroneously believed he had obtained all the source reporting through the TDs. This was not the case. The January 2001 Khalid identification was only reported in an internal CIA cable and was never included in a TD. In addition to the legal attaché, New York FBI agents working on the Cole investigation told the Office of the Inspector General that when they read a TD regarding a particular subject, which they could access through CT Link, they mistakenly believed that it contained all relevant information from the source debriefings. The primary USS Cole case agent told us that he believed that the CIA operational cables dealt with the techniques and methods, but he did not know that these cables also contained the details of debriefings. He said that he had assumed all the substantive reporting would be contained in the telegraphic dissemination cables, so he never asked the CIA to allow him to review the underlying cable traffic. If these FBI employees had a more thorough knowledge of the information flow within the CIA, they could have ensured that they received all the relevant information from the joint source. This was especially significant in the case of al-Hazmi and al-Midar because the CIA and FBI had decided the majority of the joint sources reporting would be handled through CIA channels, and the legal attaché did not independently report in FBI documents most of the source's information. For example, in this case, the FBI could have requested to review the CIA's internal cables or asked the interviewing CIA officer to review the TDs and the FBI documentation to ensure all the information had been captured. However, the lack of understanding by FBI personnel of the CIA reporting process and its procedures for sharing intelligence contributed to the FBI not learning of significant information in CIA cables about Khalid, which would have tied an al-Qaeda operative to the Malaysia meetings attended by Khalid al-Midar and potentially resulting in the FBI focusing on Khalid al-Midar and Nawaf al-Hazmi much earlier.